Hello everyone, this is GrayShot117 here,
And I'm GrayShot151.
who is currently partaking in some delicious chocolate chip cookies, homemade by the way.
Yes, because like every real man, chocolate chip, freshly baked.
Yes.
While they're soft.
You know what you don't partake in? A round of Ghostbusters.
Especially after one eats has a root canal. You eat chocolate chip cookies.
What was more enjoyable, the root canal or Ghostbusters?
Both caused me pain. The root canal less so because I couldn't feel anything. Literally, it was great. My numb was just dead for a whole half a day. Actually, it was funny enough. So I went from one dentist office to another, and my cheek was so numb from the one place that basically it was super numb by the root canal. So I didn't even feel a thing. The guy put like liquid nitrogen ice cube or like that kind of stuff on my nerve, and I was like, I don't feel anything.
In any capacity, yes. So we were reviewing Ghostbusters, and I'm making a joke. Although to be fair, I did not like this. This movie had me.
I mean, This is how much I'm carrying. I'm eating while we do.
We were originally going to do this the night of, but unfortunately, I can only record during the day for lighting reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So we waited for 24 hours, and now we're posting our review. And
by the way, shout out to Dr. Frowny. Thanks for seeing this with us.
Yes, Frowny.
We're sorry, by the way, for seeing it with us.
Yeah, apologies again. For whatever reason, every time Frowny comes in, we happen to.
You see a shitty movie every time you see Dr.
Yeah.
Frowny. You saw Fantastic Four the last time. I wasn't here, by the way.
That was bad. That was like that. Nowhere near as bad. Well, actually, there's something that Fantastic Four and Ghostbusters both do, and that's power crazy. But we'll get to that a little later. First off, the movie. I thought it was a bad movie. It's not a terrible movie. It's just a bad movie, honestly, in my opinion.
My take is a meh. It's not. The problem is, this movie isn't good enough to be worth memorable or horrible enough to be memorable.
Yeah.
It's just bad. Kind of like, remember Total Recall? Bet you didn't until I just said it. Or, I could probably... Poltergeist. They're movies that are just so meh, no one cares about them because they're not bad enough to be good or good enough to be memorable. Or good enough to be bad.
This film does not deserve the trash and all the comments that people have gotten online. But that being said, it has not deserved the praise of the critics. This movie is, in my opinion,
it's not funny.
In my opinion, worse than Apocalypse. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing I will say about this movie.
Still, Batman v Superman, worst movie of the year. I hold that in high regard. That movie gets the golden turd.
No, look. Batman vs. Ghostbusters is better than Batman vs Superman. Take that, fanboys. But in any case,
and the channel's gonna go down in flames in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
But look, this movie had consistency and at least a story where they were progressing. Batman vs Superman was just everywhere.
And it had its tangents, but yeah, you're right.
The problem is the fact that, to start off with, the four main leads, I thought in parts each of them had the moment where they was like, okay, that was funny. Each of them had their moment. I think I forget the character's name, but like the Egon-esque scientist character.
Crazy scientist, yeah. She was... Each character I will give him... They're not like carbon copies of the original.
Tally time, everybody. This is a moment with the cat. Say hello, Tally. Say hello. Say hello.
She's looking at the screen. She sees herself.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what the fuck is that thing? I want to kill... So, you fucked up the camera again with the cat.
Not my fault.
Any case, as we were saying, the problem with the movie is, all the main characters are not carbon copies of the originals. By far. All of them are very different. All of them are different characters that are filling this kind of the same mold, but in different ways.
Yeah. Again,
the Egon character's, funny, but she's more crazy, I would say. The Patsy, while she is African American, she does bring her own... She's not just a lay of the land. She knows New York, all the weird facts and everything in New York. Which
she's
is also
street smart.
Well, that, and she also is a history buff kind of, which is awesome. The two main leads, which is
Melissa McCartney's character and Kate McKinnon.
Yeah,
I think
they're funny in their own regards, but the main problem with this movie is it's not funny. Ghostbusters, the original, is fantastic. You want the lines?
I know, and ladies and gentlemen, hear me out. I know why it's not funny, and I feel like. And again, just hear me out on this. I have an idea. The reason this film is not funny,
not because of the leads. The leads give it a try, give it their all.
I feel like it's just because when you have a comedy that's a pure comedy, it pulls you out. For example, I laughed so hard in Deadpool because it was half a comedy and half an action movie. People like Deadpool's like, oh my god, Deadpool was hilarious. It has a heart to it, and that heart makes you care.
Well, the other problem with the other thing is, I would say The Legend of Tarzan, you know, that serious, really grounded, heavily marketed as a serious flick, was funnier than that. Funnier than Ghostbusters. God damn, it was. There were a lot of great jokes in The Legend of Tarzan, which I never went into and guessed. But yeah, it was. Ghostbusters wasn't. I laughed. There were a few jokes that hit their mark and I chuckled, but I was never laughing out loud. Legend of Tarzan had me laughing out loud a few times.
Yeah. No, again, maybe it's just me.
I'm not a big... because you feel... Because there's one motion of... The original Ghostbusters had a sense of horror to it. Or like a scare. Because it was... which the first scene kind of does.
Yeah, the first scene's great. Like that whole set, I'm like...
This is good. It's funny. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
And it's like, it ends like, holy shit. But then the movie just doesn't know how to balance it. Like, it understands that bombs. Like, for instance, there's a moment where they make a joke, and it was like, it was a fart joke, and then it was like, that one was from the front. I was just like, are you serious? Like,
that's not funny.
Really?
But here's the thing: people are laughing behind us, so maybe that type of humor just doesn't affect us as much. But the film, I chuckled like once or twice, and that was funny enough. Sometimes some of that was the physical humor, such as Melissa McCarthy's character initially with the gun blasting around.
Yeah,
that was funny.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm just
Patsy, with the original Ghost, she's like, what the heck? Like when she was going after the guy and then the ghost showed up and she's like, nope, not dealing with this. I'm out. Peace. And she just hightails it. And then basically the reason why she joins is not because she streaks on it. She wants freaking revenge. She's like, she wants to go find. She proves she's not crazy.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Just continuing on. One other thing that this film I think fails to do is we'll get to that. They have a backstory for one of the characters why she's so involved for the one Ghostbuster and why she believes in ghosts, and it's supposed to be this heartfelt moment, and I'm just like,
there's no build up to it. There's nothing.
And there's no payoff. There's nothing. It's just here's a moment. Here's why I'm sad. Move on. It's like no.
It's not even like the weird way when like Gremlins, you know, they have the moment with the father in the chimney and dying on Christmas. Like that whole thing is like, hey, you can kind of see in the rest of the movie, or it's so weird and out there, you're just like, what the fuck? But this movie, it's just like
they build up to that because she hates Christmas.
Yeah.
There's no build like. I'm sorry. It's just like she studies ghosts. She was haunted by a ghost and she wants to find out what the heck it was.
And then she stops basically it's like. And she had to get therapy the rest of her life. It's like, showcase that. Show her being a little off kilter. Yeah. Show her being like freaking the fuck out when there's a ghost. She shouldn't be the one like, oh my god, she should be like, she likes ghosts.
Holy shit, those ghosts, go, and like run out of there.
It's like, guys, I'm right, and then
facing your fear. That would have been a cool moment in the film.
Or like have her overcome it or something. So the Ghostbusters also get a really fast... Like the reason why the original Ghostbusters worked, and I think, again, I watched a few reviews. This Angry Joe did a good one on this one as well. I think he was a bit too harsh.
Here's the thing, like...
No, I'm just cutting in. The reason why Ghostbusters works is, like you said, the movie's grounded and you can relate to the characters. Like, you can understand, like, that's a scientist. That's just like... I don't know the characters' names, but Bill Murray's character was essentially, he was kind of like the ego and whatnot, and when he got slimed by Slimer, it was kind of like him getting an ego taken down, so you got to see these moments of like all these characters in different situations. The African, I honestly don't remember the actor's name. Oh, by the way, all the actors do make cameos in this movie, but...
Yeah, Sigourney Weaver, Bill Murray...
They're balanced out because you feel like these are real people in real situations. The problem is with a lot of the Ghostbusters, there's some moments where it's like, oh yeah, these girls are hanging out, they're making jokes and whatnot. But then there's other moments where it's like,
also the ramp up of how quickly they learn. Like the
Ghostbusters, they destroy a guy's bike and or they kill a guy. The girl literally kills someone.
What? When? Oh, right.
And there's no reaction. They
Spoiler.
They kill Bill Murray.
Why did you kill
Bill Murray?
Why the fuck? If you do that... It
wasn't funny. It was just like... She has no reaction. She has no remorse. She has no... She's like, you fucking opened it. You're responsible for this person's death. And you feel nothing? You just make jokes?
But, I mean, he criticized them. It's like, oh my god, if he's gonna be the critic, which I like, the critic again in the original Ghostbusters was from the EPA. Was in there the entire movie. Have Bill Murray be the antagonist.
Have Bill Murray be Dick.
That would have been another smart move, because like the lead is literally against you as the villain. That would have been an awesome way.
I wish Bill Murray was the villain, because the villain we had was absolute shit. I mean, he basically was like, I'm going to destroy the world. And he had
literally, he did like, I'm going to destroy the world, almost. And he drew pictures like, guys, I'm doing.
Look at my pictures.
Look at my pictures. It's like,
also,
what?
So he gets like, he dies, becomes super powerful. By the way,
how
the fuck does he do that? Like, I wish there was a moment where we'd be like, if a human dies while in contact with this, supercharged paranormal activity, he can become
a ghost.
Well, he can become first off, a ghost. But secondly, a very powerful ghost, a demon of sorts. So you know what I mean? Like a wrathful spirit. But they don't showcase it. It's just like...
You know what would have been great? Been like...
I get what... No, don't get me wrong. What he turns into, I understand. Because at that moment, literally that's what he wanted to be. A fucking giant among... He didn't care what people thought of him because he was going to crush them if they... The stupid.
There's a picture of him as a giant burning on a burning New York City, destroying everything. I'm just going there. I'm like, how do you know?
Well, the monster he turns into at the end, which I know you've seen probably in the trailers. I will admit, how they relate that is again because all those like people always looked at him and they didn't. They always walked all over him. At this point, he was like, he's going to use that humor against them, and he's going to basically just. He might look stupid, but you're gonna die from him. That's the point. Like I think that was the problem. What?
I have no problem with giant monsters. I don't. I like giant monsters.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is one of the all-time classics because it worked.
It was scary but terrifying. Here's the problem. By the way, they had so many references to the original Ghostbusters. This is the point where it's like, stop.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Please.
Bill Murray's. You know how Jurassic World did it? They did it well. They had a few couples. They had very few scenes, very few, where they reference the old park, like the T-shirt. The abandoned section was its own thing. You understand why they're there because it's an abandoned part and it's from the original movie. And they get a Jeep and they go. That's it. There's no other part except for a couple of returning characters. The problem is every 5 minutes there's a cameo from the original Ghostbusters, and it's like, why are you having so many cameos? From a film series that you, in your own continuity, your canonical history, have removed. Why are you doing that? You're just making people more pissed off. I understand, it's like, let's do it. But having one awesome cameo works fantastically. Having it throughout your entire movie makes you essentially ripping off them or showcasing, man, don't you wish they were in this movie or they had a bigger role?
Because they honestly because the other problem is this movie doesn't tell any good jokes, like we keep mentioning, and they allude to the best jokes of the original. For instance, like there's a guy like, I don't do this, I don't do that, and I ain't afraid of no ghost, and then he drives off, and it's one of the main guys. I don't know the actors' names, but he was like the larger fellow with the.
He was the funny guy that I originally wished was Stay Puft Marshmallow.
Yeah. It was that guy.
But the problem is in that film, he's like drove there, he drove off. I'm like, great, thank you. And also like. And Harris at the end, I like him.
Harris at the end was also good with Patsy because that was the uncle, and he was like, "How am I supposed? I can't double-decker bodies." That did make me laugh, and there were a few. It's sad because they were the ones that almost seemed almost like snippets of life into the dead film, like a fucking like ghost. And
the biggest problem with this film is the script. That is probably the biggest issue. It's the script, because when the comedians or major actresses who are good with comedic moments come in there, maybe have a moment or two where they just go off on tangents, it works. There are very few continuity jokes or jokes brought on by the movie itself that actually work, and that's the sad part.
There's like 5 jokes for a wonton taco. I'm sorry, it wasn't really funny. Like the end bit was this is getting a little too much. Like that part actually got me, but it was like if you have to tell 5 jokes to get to the punchline.
The second one I actually chuckled because they're underneath. The restaurant that they're ordering from is below them, and he's still late.
Yeah, and he still brings them shit. But no, you can't. But it took like 5 jokes for that to get good, and it shouldn't have to do that. Like the original, like some of the great lines is like, "Are you God?" And the guy's like, "No." Then die, or some other great jokes.
You
like,
can't quote anything from this movie. Like there's
nothing quotable.
But we have not talked about the other major character, Chris Hemsworth, in this film.
Oh my God, best part.
Like,
I would say one of the best characters in the movie.
Chris Hemsworth has been in a lot of action movies, and they have not turned out fantastic. I'm thinking of, like, Snow White Huntsman, although technically he was a secondary character, made first character, which is weird.
Yeah.
My big problem is, I think he was too stupid. But once he was taken, again, spoiler, he's taken over by a ghost. Once he was taken over by the ghost,
and he could act as the guy.
Oh my God, he was great.
Yeah,
he's like, was it? Man, I should have worked out. It's like I should have worked out when I was alive, and then he beats up some more people, and he's like, I really should have worked out when I was alive, and like a few other jokes. I'm like, I started cracking up, and I'm like,
he's like, yeah, first time I didn't have to suck in my gut. And
when he's making fun of himself, when you're doing self-deprecating humor and you're doing it correctly, in my opinion, it's some of the most fun.
Like the jokes he has with the ladies, like the picture and whatnot, really doesn't work. Or when he's like, can you not listen? Like he covers his.
Yeah,
they don't work. But some of the ones where he does self-deprecating, he's like, wait, do you not have any glasses in your glasses? He's like, no, they kept getting bogged up, so I just took them out. Like that was great. Or the fact that
I would have loved it if he had contacts in. It's just like, yeah, I have contacts.
Or there was telephone. He was like, oh yeah, that's I can't answer. It's in there. It's like, well, the telephone in front of you. Like, gotcha, that one. Or
the two pictures, like, here's me playing the saxophone. Here's me listening to the saxophone. Which
and
one's
it's literally
better?
him holding it up, and it's just like, oh God! It was again. He brought in some good life, and the sad thing is, he was funnier than most of the women. And I'm not being feminist or anti-feminist or whatnot. I'm being honest.
He had his own issues, but once he stopped being as stupid, it worked. It worked, and it brought him back. Now.
The villain was best when Chris Hemsworth was playing him, which is funny.
But that being said, Chris Hemsworth should be dumb, but he should relate to smart people who kind of bring it back to reality. Or a lot of the times, the women would make jokes on top of his jokes, which doesn't work.
Yeah. You can't mix because again, the whole original of Ghostbusters, where it's like it's ghosts, but it's like these people in a real life situation. How do I say this? The people in the movie. The people in the whole world doesn't feel real.
Oh yeah, like there are TV broadcasts that look cheap. The mayor and news office, I'm like,
makes no sense.
Yeah, it was like, we know about this,
but it doesn't work.
We know about this, but you're gonna be arrested, so we can keep it on the download. It's like, dude, if a ghost happened in real life and people had all those cameras,
ain't gonna do shit,
and they saw and they saw that, I guarantee you, people wouldn't just be like, oh, that's fake. People would be like, scientific conspiracy. There was a goddamn conspiracy thing about NASA shutting off their space station for live feed because of an automated system where they had live and they saw a UFO coming in for 2 seconds or something on like a white light, and then it just shuts off. People went nuts. I guarantee you, if a picture of a real life ghost was at a rock concert or something else, and people got actual footage, there's no competition. People would be like, is this a ghost? If this crazy, debunking it, proving it, stuff like that. YouTube would be on fire, but they're like, no, this is it. The world in this movie felt like a cartoon, and the villain turning into a 2D cartoon at the end reinforced the fact that it was indeed just a real life, like a Batman and Robin cartoon. That being said, at the end of the movie, 2 of the girls' hairs turn white. I wanted Danny Phantom to just pop up into the movie and just blast all these people and be like, professional Ghostbuster here.
Everyone away.
And no, I don't mean Danny Phantom as the main lead. I mean Danny Phantom as the cousin, the clone, who comes in and shows how a real woman Ghostbuster deals with this stuff. That's a deep reference for you guys. I like that. I actually rewatched it after the movie. That TV show still holds up, kind of.
And now
the darker scenes,
yes. Of 117. But yeah, I gotta say, Ghostbusters.
That's my rant.
For this movie, how Ghostbusters gonna end? It's a meh kind of movie.
Oh yeah. Also, the monster.
It's not doing well financially.
The monster's like, I'm gonna kill you. Turns to a giant. The villain. I'm gonna kill you, turns to a giant monster, and completely ignores them until they come back.
Thing. If you're a giant monster and you have human-grade intelligence, here's a fun fact.
Rawr.
Smash.
Rawr.
Yeah, you don't just
smash. Smash. Oh look.
Get sucked in a hole.
Oh look, I'm a giant white monster and I still have a dick for some reason. Why does a dick shot hurt? That's like, once again, this movie, Nostalgia Critic just did like Scooby-Doo, and all I kept thinking of with some of the ghosts, like the weird like the weird like gargoyle ghost or whatever the heck it is, demon ghost, and then with the giant thing with the dick shot, I'm like, are they playing reference to Scooby-Doo? Like, are you seriously playing reference to the live-action Scooby-Doo movies? Because that's what it kind of feels like. The CG, some of the ghosts look good, and some of the ghosts look as good as the Scooby-Doo movie, and that's saying something.
Yeah. So, at the end of the day, this movie is probably not going to do well. Financially, how is it doing?
Okay, so at the box office, it made about $46 million opening weekend.
Was that better than expected?
Its budget was around $140 million. So if you add it up, The Incredible Hulk had about the same budget and made $56 million. And it made overall, worldwide, about 250, I think 300 million, something around that. If it does well in international box offices, stuff like that, it can make 300 million, I'm assuming. The problem is, the tail of this movie, I don't think is going to end up doing that well. It made through one weekend. It depends how quickly, if it can continue, if it has a strong female audience or strong audience in general.
Legend of Tarzan is doing actually that.
It has a long. It's actually holding it pretty well. I think it was number 3, and it's that's pretty strong for a movie that didn't open up amazingly. So, if it has a strong tail, then it can recoup its budget, recoup its losses, and be fine. Similar situation to what's the movie that recently had? Warcraft, where the Warcraft will make just enough to equal its budget, probably after all international markets, and then DVD sales will push it above. This seems like to be the same thing.
Well, they're planning on making a new one because it was like the biggest opening thing in China ever. So
Ghostbusters, no.
Ghostbusters isn't going to open in China.
No, by the way, for those who don't know,
because they don't allow superstitious things. Because again, they're communist and they really kind of put down the supernatural and superstitious.
I find so pretty funny because if any country would be like, we're gonna disprove this ghost and somehow prove its existence, it would be China. We have scientifically proven there are ghosts.
Which, by the way, I think they're changing it to like Super Ghost Fighting Force or something like that. They're changing it to like a weird long name. I don't understand how they're gonna fit all the jokes in there. Because what are they gonna do? Break it apart?
Oh yeah. Also, weird thing about this movie, I will say. So, okay, and again, just hear me out on this. I know these women are supposed to be expert Ghostbusters, but they get good in less than 24, like in 24 hours after their first successful mission. They somehow are able to do everything. In the original,
which they were missing like every shot.
Yeah, they were missing everything, and then suddenly they're amazing.
Which the Ghostbusters, at least, they had like what 50 or they had like tons of missions.
Also, the final climactic battle. By the way, again, Chris Hemsworth at the final few moments, great. But there's a scene in which there's a bunch of police officers being taken over by him.
Why didn't he just do that?
Why didn't he just tell them to shoot? Like, he has full control of police officers with guns. Just mow down the Ghostbusters. But instead he sends his army, which is this blue smoke. And that's another thing. They have an interesting fight with ghosts, but they never explain. I thought you had to capture the ghost.
Yeah.
So,
because a ghost is like, you can't kill a ghost. You can only subdue it. That was
if they explained how they could do, like, we use it, we can activate this laser to shred up its particles, but only if it's a weak class. Also, they keep seeing. Here's the thing: it's 2016. I'm sorry. If you keep saying this is a class 4, this is a class 5, this is a class 3 Viper, explain. Have 1 minute where you explain the different types of ghosts, because I'm sitting there like,
what the fuck?
What is a class 4? What's the difference between a class 4 and class 3?
Okay,
they did that with Pacific Rim, where they explained that's it. They keep getting bigger and stronger, so we have to, judging on their mass and strength, we keep increasing it, and that's what we do with the Jaegers. Which they tell
by, like, essentially Pacific Rim, how they decide is, again, by the size, this is a size 4 if it's in this range, and then Slattern was a size 5 because it was like, holy fucking shit, this thing is huge.
Yes.
Because it's like, it was meant to be like a
that was another thing. It's like, if you're going to say, this is a type 3, this is a type 4, Pacific Rim, which took itself both seriously and comedically, was able to explain that. Ghostbusters, do the same.
Yeah. like Orochi and Razorback were both tier 4s. You know how they
the two that attacked the city.
You could tell because they wrecked everything.
Yeah,
like they were like the
compare that to the
shit.
class 3 where the one
they
Jaeger
went 1-on-1 and
Yeah.
barely won. It's like a 4 went on these things and just ripped.
And
it
especially
apart
when
by
they
itself.
said this is the first class 3 and they barely made it out with the class 3. So when you knew two mid-tier class 4s coming out, you're like, oh,
this is gonna be bad.
oh, yeah. And I figure, and I could be wrong, but they say something about like the portal slowly getting like more strength, allowed more stuff to come through. That's why they were slowly getting bigger. More, you were allowed more stuff to come through in more instances.
Well, it was that, and they could only release so many at certain times.
Okay, yeah.
So basically, the portal was almost kind of like a
Fluctuation.
Fluctuation, yeah. It would get faster and faster and faster, so they could allow more creatures with a bigger size to come out, essentially. So.
And also, before you say, oh, you don't like this because it's female cast, or you don't like this because of the fact that
McCartney's great.
You don't like a female lead. I'm not saying the actors were bad. I'm saying the script they had to take their lines from, and the story was bad.
If you want a good series with a female lead, go watch Jessica Jones. That's fantastic.
Okay. If you want something that's a little bit more adult, not adult, sorry, a little childlike, Star Wars. Rey was fantastic as a female-led actor. She was great, and
she had purpose. She had emotion. She had character development.
Edge of Tomorrow. Well, like, even though the main star is Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt steals the show. She's fantastic. And if we like, Sicario, she's also the lead in that as well. And once again, Emily Blunt, fantastic. But if you want to keep going with these film and being like, oh, this is female led, and this is gonna be like, we are still going to criticize it.
Pay respect and writing to the characters involved.
Yeah.
The main actors do everything they can, and they have funny moments. They have good moments, and their character does try to shine in certain situations. But the sad thing is the script fails them, not the other way around.
Yeah.
It's sad because it almost feels like the script pulled the rug out of their feet while they were desperately trying to battle everyone else.
Bad. The backlash online to them has been absurd.
Completely absurd and definitely
the marketing team screwed up the trailers and everything like that. I mean, you could have easily marketed, like, if the whole initial teaser trailer would have been the opening section of that film, just be like the guy walking around being creepy and actually turned to like a horror movie, and then it just kicks the Ghostbusters music, people would have freaked out and they'd be like, yes, Ghostbusters is back. And then you had like the logo.
We want this.
Yes, that's how you do a freaking teaser, not 30 years ago.
Because the opening jokes aren't half bad.
Yeah, like the jokes, there's some of them in the trailer, once more context is in, is not bad, but without context, people will have to realize that some jokes do not work. And that's why sometimes you make a scene for a trailer. I'm not saying you do Fantastic Four.
Or Godzilla in that case.
Oh, by the way, Fantastic Four, the villain was super powerful and could have done all sorts of stuff, but he didn't you didn't understand his powers. That's what I was trying to get by that. But, like, you don't have a Fantastic Four moment where you have this super cool, awesome battle, and they cut it from the film. Like, the Thing battle, they could have easily showed that. And I'm just like, that was, like, one of the cool scenes from the trailer, not in the movie at all.
Wait, really? He never fights?
Oh, yeah. The Thing, you know that awesome drop where he goes down, lands, and then the gunfire? That's not in the movie at all. Yeah, they cut it. It's not in the movie. That entire sequence is gone. Yeah, you're like that. Me and Frowny talked afterwards like, wait a second. Wait, hold on.
Oh, it was on a TV camera, wasn't it? I remember the controversy on this.
Yeah, there was nothing, and I don't I don't understand. I don't.
Well, here, I think we've talked enough about this movie, much more than it deserves. So, in any case, yeah, if you want to go see it, by all means, go see it.
It's a comedy.
I'm not saying you shouldn't, but
every comedy's different. I didn't enjoy it, but I know a lot of people do. I didn't like Keanu as much, but I know a lot of people who really enjoyed it or really didn't. It's a different type. Like, I'm hit and miss with comedies. But that being said, Nice Guys I thought was fantastic. And Deadpool I thought was great. So it's just, like, again, for me it's hit and miss, and I thought this one was a miss.
It's really up to your own preference.
Yes.
But in any case, we want to thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoy it, and we will see you next time when we will review Star Trek Beyond. Is it going to be beyond our expectations, or is it going to be a trek into darkness?
In the meantime, go see Pacific Rim. We'll see you next time.
See you next time, guys.